Now, when you're looking to save for the future, okay, you always need a goal. Okay, not to get too spiritual, but the Word of God says, without a vision, people perish. So you got to know where you're going. So saving money just to be saving money doesn't always end well for you, because then people start kind of dipping into funds when there's things that happen, or there's emergencies that come up. But if you have an account that is designated for a goal, again, we're going to use real estate as our example today. So if your goal is to get into a home within the next 6 to 12 to 18 months, that's your goal. You want to have a set budget that gets you into or helps you meet your goal by a certain time frame, right? So you want to have a number that you want to meet. If that's weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, however you get paid, you want to meet that goal every time that you set it. If it's, like I said, based off of your paycheck or a certain date or whatever it is. So if it's, I want to save at least $200 per month so I can meet this goal of having enough funds to, have a down payment, that's what it is, right? And you need to put that money somewhere, not necessarily where you can't touch it, because I don't think that's a smart idea, where you got to go jump through a whole bunch of hoops with these online accounts and stuff like that. But you don't want to have something that's readily available, where you can go to ATM or swipe your debit card and it starts accessing that account. You want something set aside for that goal, right? Okay, so if your goal is being to purchase a home within the next 12 to 18 months, right? Again, if you want like a savings plan for that, just like I said, again, hit me below, hit me in the DMs. I can send you a specified budget, just, get directly to you, and have that savings plan that's going to fit and make that thing comfortable for you. Again, you don't want to put yourself in a burden or rob Peter to pay Paul in order to meet this goal, but you definitely want to have that plan in place. Okay. Now, once you start putting these funds or setting these funds aside, again, having the discipline to make sure that you don't touch those things that or touch those accounts that are actually taken towards that particular goal. I see I have a question. Yes, Reggie, send just type your question in and I'll get to it once I see it. But again, let's say what that goal is. If your goal is to purchase a home, and again, kind of finding out what it is that goal needs to be. Okay, so if you're trying to purchase a home, the way most people end up purchasing a home is going through a lender to get finance for that particular home, right? Well, not to get too technical, we'll get that probably in the next version of Finance Fridays. What types of loans are out there and which ones are better or whatever, right? So there's a few loans out there that most people know about, which is your FHA and your conventional loans. Typically with the FHA loan, or let's say FHA loan in general, that's 3.5% down, or that's the amount of money that you have to bring to the table to get the loan. So if you're purchasing a home, for simple math, if you want to purchase a $100,000 house, that means you have to bring 3.5% down payment, or 3.5% of that purchase price, which is $100,000, which meaning you need to bring at least $3,500 to the closing table. And that's before closing costs. Okay, this is just your down payment. And we'll talk about that later on in a couple other episodes, difference between your down payment and your closing costs, right? So if we're just zoning in on down payment, on an FHA loan, we're talking about 3.5%. Now, if we're looking at a conventional, 5%. again, we're going to talk about the difference between and the pros and the cons between both later on. But for now, for FHA loan, we're looking at 3.5% on a $100,000 house. Again, let's be realistic. We're in Dallas, so let's say $200,000 house. So that means you need to bring at least $7,000 down payment before closing costs in order to qualify for the loan. So if 7,000 is that goal, then we need to put a structure around your finances to get you to that 7,000. Now, 9 times out of 10, we probably won't need to use most of that money because there's other payments and down payment assistance and things like that that can help you help you reach that goal. But most lenders want to see, if not all, most of the funds in your bank account, even though you may not use all of them, right? So with that being said, so if 7,000 is the goal, there's multiple places out there that you can go in and kind of get an idea of where to go, or what amounts that you need to take out of each paycheck or each week and things like that. We see them all the time in, at the beginning of the year, the 52-week savings challenge where you save $1 first week or $2 next week, $3 again. All that is just going back to the principle from last week, which was the discipline to put that money away each month. And again, going back to some of the things we talked about last week, which was having the discipline to cut back on some things or maneuver some things in your own. Hey, just want to thank you guys for tuning in this week's episode of Finance Fridays. If you like the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, this is Stephen Thomas with Realty, where the advice is free, but the knowledge is priceless. See y'all next week.